Hello, welcome to Z Explains BG. I am Z. I'm back commentating because I lost in my Wednesday night jackpot again. Yeah, I can't get any traction in it. I played like okay, although I missed a play in the last game in the semifinals. I probably would have lost anyways. But it's funny. I kind of saw the right play, but somehow I like dismissed it. Let me show it to you. So I'm kind of frustrated with myself for missing this play. 6-4 here. I mean, the safest play. I mean, you're pretty averse to leaving. It's double match point. Pretty averse to leaving a shot here. Um, but 11-1. You can play like the safest play is 11-1, but you're still leaving six shots by doing it, and you're giving up your 11 points and leaving a horrible blot on your ace point. So it's not the right idea to play like super safe here. Oh, hey, Brad. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we'll go in. I'm just gonna self immolate myself for the 6-4 I missed in the last game. I probably would have lost the match anyways because his double ones is tremendous no matter what I do. I kind of saw I could make the 7 point here, but somehow I thought it was like a lot more dangerous than 13-3, which is it's just not. Or maybe I thought like it was like a double shot because there's two blots, but I just sort of missed the right idea. I make a good play with that 2-1 though. Later on, yeah, this guy. Not a lot of players are this position 2-1 here. Not a lot of players are finding this. I think. Assuming I'm right by hitting. So you don't do this if Gamma's hurt you, obviously. But I mean, you're hugely down in the race, so getting hit back, getting another checker sent back, losing 20 more pips in the race isn't a big deal. And you might make a second anchor. I mean, you don't want to be hit or anything, but if you do get hit, you might make an anchor back there. So it's not too bad to leave the shots here. And you get away with it, you're quite happy. I could dance or I could roll like I don't know 5-1 or something. Um, well, the 5-1 he probably hits off the ace. But yeah, it took me. First, I thought I was just going to step up R22, and I was thinking, it's double match points. Gammons don't hurt me, so why not try something? Anyway, so let's take a look at the finals on Backgammon Hub. Paul versus Steve. Let's see. We're going to put Steve on the bottom. So it's a 9-point match. Yeah, Paul wins the side pool apparently. And he is crushing. Well, he's doing pretty decently here. It looks like. So he's down in the race, 23 pips before the roll. So it does seem like the right idea is to hit here, and then you double a miss. So that makes you like a pretty solid favorite because you get hit back and you win sometimes. So you kind of win all the misses, and then you win some of the hits. So I think that's as big a favorite as you can be. So that was a good play by Paul. I think good aggressive play that didn't work. Although maybe the jury's still out on this one. All right, Steve should hit. Good play, Steve, and then a dance, and I think you can cube this maybe. Pretty diverse, right? Because the twos step up and the other numbers make the five. Paul might pass this, but I think he has enough play to take this because the 2 point's going to stay open for a while. And yeah, White may never roll that important two. So I think that was double take. Yeah, Paul sometimes is weirdly conservative about taking, weirdly aggressive about doubling. So that was a good. It was good. If it wasn't a double, it was a good bluff. But I think that's just double take. All right, so Paul, this looks good. I would probably keep going with the two. Put that checker in a little less convenient spot to attack and keep a spare on the midpoints. Well, Paul's play isn't. I don't think Paul's play is bad though. He's got a spare on his 11. All right, this plays conveniently for Paul. Very nice. Steve on a roll. Okay, nothing better than 13-8 that I see. Good. And 8-4, 6-5. Pretty clear, unless I'm missing something, which is always possible. And then, yeah, 6 to 3 is at least okay. I've seen anything better. Yeah, if you wanted to get a little fancy, you could play 6 to 4, 2 to 1. But that lets black leave like blots everywhere and not have to worry about getting hit. Um, so I think what Steve did is correct. And what Paul is no, race is equal, so you don't do this. You get away with it, and you don't gain that much because you're just racing into a close race. You get punished for it. You get blitzed off the board, so the risk reward isn't quite there. All right, good play by Steve. This looks good. I was thinking maybe 5 to 1, 4 to 3 to save a 6, but that's pretty ugly to put a checker on your ace like that. So Paul's play is probably what I would have ended up doing. 4-1. Now he's going to play 5 to 1, 4 to 3, I believe, unless he wants to try 8 to 3. Given that white has the blot in his board. Yeah, I don't know. I probably would not have done this. I think white's pretty happy to hit with any ace, even though he's got the blots. And then this maybe should go double take, but it seems like quite an easy take because it's so hard to cover that blot. And black could just enter with a 5 also and have a decent game at some point. On the other hand, cover Dan's pretty big pass, I think. So you could have justified a cube there, I guess. I'd have to think about whether I would actually cube that. All right, this does some stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, looks like Paul is averse to leaving any shots. I think he can take this, but I would probably double his white here. We clear the midpoint, it probably becomes a pretty solid pass. Clear the midpoint safely, and black has the blot in his board. So you maybe have an opportunity to leave a shot. I would probably cube this too on the strength of the hidden cover numbers. And if you don't roll a hidden cover number, you're still a pretty solid favorites on average, you know. So that might have been a little bit of a missed opportunity for Steve. Yeah, like this is a pass now. Pretty big pass. All right, yeah, I don't know what Steve's thinking here. Like if Steve got doubled his black here, he probably would pass. He probably would find the pass. So, why not cube that before the roll? Like you can think in terms of what your opponent's. Mostly when I'm thinking about doubling, I think in terms of what my opponent would be thinking. Like if it might be a pass already, or it's at least close, then that's a pretty good indication you should be doubling it. And I mean, maybe I'm off and that's a take. I mean, I'm not, but let's say I am. It's still, it's still got to be pretty close, right? So it seemed like a pretty clear cube there. But yeah, just on the checker was, let's see, Paul had a point like 8 away from the checker, but Steve's 7's played quite good. I guess you could justify a take there, but I don't think you can justify a no double there. All right, let's see how Steve wants to play this. Because black is very flexible for making points over there, and white has the stronger board. As ugly as it is, I would play 6 to 1, 6 to 5 there. Really try this blitzing plan where you have like the low point in your board made. Although Steve's plan does seem to be working okay. Like he can make the 2 and the 7 and then double a dance, I think. Yeah, I like this plan. Let's see if Steve finds the double here. It's pretty gammonish, It might be a pass already. See if Paul wants to pass or not. Paul's got pretty good structure, so he does take. Yeah, the taking is quite reasonable, I think. Because no other blots except for the 2. The one on the roof and the one on the 5 point. And black has pretty good structure. On the other hand, it does seem very, very gammonish. Steve seems to be working on at the moment. Yeah, I'm not sure how this compares to getting one of the backmen going. The best build. Steve gets the best builds. Okay, so here obviously you got to get the backmen going in some fashion. The thing that does the most appears to be 21 to 23. Essentially, what Steve played, 23 to 18. This is a little block now, but it plays okay. Yeah, so 9 to 5 is okay. There's another play 9 to 8, 7 to 4, which I'd have to think about. Yeah, I'd have to look at both plays there. This looks okay at least. Don't overlook making the tray. Good. Good. Yeah, this block's on 6-6, but it's 4-4 is not blocked, so this is a good play by Steve. I wonder if actually putting the guy on the 9 is a little safer than this. 7 to 1, 14 to 9. Maybe you can handle 5-4 a little better, but yeah, maybe Steve's play was actually okay. I don't know if there's any extra blot numbers with what Steve did. Like 6-3 played okay. Steve's play ended up with better spares rather than like my first thought that had a spare on the ace point, which is probably not what you want. Very inflexible spot for a checker. So actually I think Steve played that correctly. And he's going to be rewarded with 4 points. Maybe. 3-3-3 bears off. Plus bunch of 6s. All right, 5 to 1, 4-way, 8-way, interesting score. 4-4-way, 8-way. For money, I like to play 13 to 9, 6 to 3 here. Although this score, I think Steve should do something a little bit less gammon go-ish. Like I think technically the better play might have been 24 to 26 to 3. Because it results in an advanced anchor more, which means that white's going to get gammon less, which means the cube is like less useful for black. Like you up the gammons, the cube's going to be quite useful for the trailer here, I believe. Oh, this is a great roll by Paul. Yeah, oh, don't do this. No, this is horrible. Yeah, build all the structure. There you go. And then, yeah, Paul's got a good edge, and he's down 1 to 5, so I would be cubing this. Even though 4-4 is like a pretty decent roll. And you dare white to take and possibly lose 4, you know. Probably, it might be a take though. I don't know. White has decent structure, but yeah, I think Paul should definitely be cubing this. It's at least a cube, even if white rolls like a 2 here. Still cube this. Here I don't know, but I would probably still cube it because it is still fairly gammonish. Yeah, it seems like a good plan. A little less gammonish now. Looks like a good positional play by Paul there. Yeah, he could actually run up in the race so much. Maybe running off the anchors a little better. Play 18 to 13, 18 to 16. Well, white has this blot and 4s are duplicated. I usually don't like doing this with 5-2 because the 2 doesn't get very close to home. But since it doesn't play good elsewhere, I would do this. And then I suppose as Steve, I would keep the checker back, but you're going to get gammoned a little more. So I would play like 18 to 7 here, as opposed to like, 24 to 13. Wins a little more because you're going to make it harder for black to play long term, and you're hugely down in the race. Yeah, this is good. Again, there's some question about whether to step up with a 6 and get gammon less. Again, there's some question about whether to step up with a 6 and get gammon. Now there's a builder on the 4-point though. So black is going to have some more attacking options quite soon. Like now I think white's hoping for a 6. So as not to get attacked down there. And again, Paul should probably be cubing this. No, white's really hoping for a 6, I think. Okay, there you go. Oh, is he going to play for the win though? Is he going to play 13-7, 13-9? That does win more, but I don't think it's worth the extra gammon you're losing. So I like how Steve's playing this. And he can take this now. So yeah, maybe Steve did that correctly, but I think I would have been tempted to play 24-18 a little earlier with one of his previous 6s, just so as not to give black these attack chances later on. Oh, I would not leave a shot here either. I think giving up the midpoint is the smaller concession. Yeah, this is a good cube. I think it'd be an easy take if he didn't make this play. As it stands, I mean, maybe he still has a take, but it's a little scary because he could get gammoned. But it worked. He gets to keep his midpoint for a while now. He's happy he took for this for sure. And then it's only 2 blotters here, I think. Just 6-1. I mean, it's possible he's supposed to volunteer with something, but I don't think so. I think Paul did that correctly. If you could roll like a 5-3 here or something, that'd be a pretty good roll. Clear the midpoint, only leave a single shot. You'd probably do prefer this. All right, don't leave any directs. Now it's time to give up the mid. Yeah, the mid blot does not doing that much there. So yeah, good play. 5-2 is a shot. I would minimize also, Paul. Yeah, he's not saving a 6, but I guess the only way to save a 6 was to break down to like a 4-point board. So I totally see why Steve did what he did. Okay, so he needs to hold the fort. Good. He gets a 6 shot here. Or a double shot, 1 and 2. But I don't think Paul should leave this many shots. And it's 2 blots. Okay, so he gets to hit. He gets to hit and stay back, and black dances, and then white gets to play on for the gammon. Although actually, it could be a take after a dance because of the score. I'd have to think about that, but it's probably not. So it'd be 808, 208. Take points like 12% on the recube, I think. 12.4 if I remember correctly, according to XG. 808. Yeah. 12.4. All right, Paul gets this chance to even up the match if he gets lucky here. Should play for it for sure. So this looks okay. This looks correct, actually. No blotters. You could try it here due to the score, maybe. Rip 1 and then play 5-3. It is probably 4 more blot numbers or something. Of course, Steve does enter. Steve does enter a third of the time, so you're not paying all those extra blot numbers. Might have been worth a look. Might have been worth a look to try to win 4. I probably would have done it. So swing on 5-4, 6-4. Oh, 6-5. Maybe 6 more blot numbers actually. That's getting a little expensive. But discounted by a third because white enters. White enters a third of the time, gets out of his hair. Alrighty, Steve's playing a little aggressively. It's okay. Usually down in the match, I like to split with the ace, but nothing wrong with what Steve did. Good technique there. Good. Yeah, these players are playing pretty decently, I think. All right, I would hit with the six here. Not leave all these exposed blots everywhere. I mean, I see what Steve's thinking. He doesn't want those three checkers on the ace point. But the 11 to five is quite productive. Seems like what you want to do. Now I don't know because now it's four checkers on the ace, so he's probably going to split again, right? Yeah, I don't know about this one. He has four checkers on the ace and no one else split in black's inner board. So actually, maybe Steve had the right idea there. Okay, Steve's getting a little something going. Paul maybe should be cubing this stuff at the score. I don't know. There might have been an opportunity in there. Like, why not cube? Like, why not cube this position, for instance? Oh no, I'm sorry. It's four. Well, it actually might be a cube, but I was thinking Paul was losing the match. No, Paul's up in the match, so yeah, it's a little tricky. A little tricky. Okay, looks like Steve. Oh no, I'm sorry. Maybe I have the score wrong, but yeah, it looks like Paul did eventually cash. So Paul must have been losing the match there. Yeah, so there must have been an opportunity in there to cube. Because Paul was down in the match. Like the position we looked at, where White still had three checkers on the ace. That looked like a pretty decent cube at the score, and probably there was some other opportunities in there. Yeah, like this is a good cube. Got a big edge. Not clearly a take at the score. Doubled gammons are quite valuable at this 5-away, 4-away score. So good double by Paul. I guess rewarded. Yeah, winning a gammon would be amazing here. Going to 8 to 5. Woof, woof. All right, yeah, this is an okay plan, I think. Obviously, you can get more builders at some risk if you want. Oh, Steve is dancing. All right, I would get a few builders here. Like I would play 10 to 8, 11 to 5. Because you do want to make the two, and probably you do want to hit loose on the two. So you could have gotten a lot more builders there, including with sixes. Yeah, I mean Steve has like an okay game here now. I mean it's not good. This 1-2 back game does not rate to be well timed, I think. Especially after this 4-4. But it's playable. Even after the 4-4. See, the problem with White's timing is not. I mean, he's down hugely in the pip count, which is good for White here. But Black doesn't have to play his fives and sixes. So, for instance, he rolled a 6-4. He only had to play 4 pips. So it really slows down Black's Baron. So White's just gonna overrun his position a lot of the time. And even after Black clears his 7 points, it's going to be a while for White to get a shot, So that's why the game is pretty poor, even though superficially it kind of looked okay. Yeah, so last one, yeah. So I mean, this is safer actually, because like if you play 7 to 5 with the 2. Like here, for instance, like 6-2 leaves a shot here. Like pretty much all sixes leave shots there. With Black roll 3-1. If you roll like 6-2, 6-3, 6-4, 6-5, he would have had to play the other number in and then bear off the 6. So he sort of avoided that structure for a turn, and they couldn't avoid it the next turn. Okay, so Steve had a chance to save this thing without hitting, so he started going right after the save. I think that's probably a good plan. Like, okay, like this waste pips for the gammon save. I probably would end up going the other way. And they actually keep the anchor here. I got punished for this. Like, because he could just play in the outfield and not waste any pips for the gammon save. So it goes a little deep in the outfield, but it's better than paying off 1-1, 2-2, 2-1, Yeah, now he's probably getting gammons. Slightly better stuff there, but this is okay. Assume this is correct. Think about all your doubles. So this does not get off on 5-5. I guess it couldn't. I guess there might have been no way to get 5-5 there. You got to take your time on those though. Just make sure you get all your saving doubles. Maybe Steve just had a good handle on it though. I would not have. Maybe there's something that doesn't cross over to the inner board, and like you placed your checkers nicely to get 5-5 in the outfield. It's possible. It's possible there was something there. All right, so okay, so this is okay. So now Paul is up. Now Paul is up 8-5. So he is averse to getting gammoned here, since it's the Crawford game and Steve needs an even number of points to win the match. Although this 5-4 is, oh, I see the plays. 8-3, 5-1. Pretty sure. It's kind of safest and has the most upside. Ooh, he messed that up. Yeah, you could have played the 4 first and hit twice. Yeah, he's playing a little fast, I think. Yeah, that was kind of a big error because, like I said, he really benefits from a gammon. Obviously, hitting twice is going to win more gammons there. Boy, Paul has a few options here. Jesus. He goes aggressive. Steve maybe should hit off the 5 and not the 13, not the 12, but I'm not sure about that one. More upside, hitting off the 5, obviously. You probably get away with it, and then you probably get to make the 5. Might have been worth it, especially at the score. All right, so just 12-8 is at least okay. 6-3, 13-12 might be okay too, but I don't think you want to give up your midpoint and leave fly shots in the outfield. Yeah, I don't know. Paul, I'm not sure about Paul's plan here, but yeah, it's sort of plausible to keep White busy. It's a little hard to get the closeout though, with only 10 checkers over there. A little light on checkers. I would do this also against the nice board, and then I don't know. I might actually be right to make the 15 and the 16 points. Leave the Bloss in the outfield. But this looks like a saner plan actually. Isn't there something where you play like 11-6 though, and then make a point in White's outfield? Not leave any shots. Okay, what play are you thinking about? Paul's play? Oh, with the blitzing plan. Yeah, it looked like it was worse than thought anyways. Even though Paul's plan was sort of superficially like plausible. It looked like he was playing it quickly, Looks like he's like playing for money, trying to win a gammon. All right, so 6-6 by Steve. Yeah, it leaves a shot on his side of the board unless he plays 8-2, 13-1, I believe, which is probably the right idea. Okay, he's going with it. Okay, this does hit if Paul wants. He can play 20-5 and then one more. I see. Yeah, I'd have to take a good look at that stuff. Honestly, I wasn't paying too close attention. Alrighty. Oh, we played 2-1. Interesting. I was looking at 6-5, and I was looking at 7-6. I didn't quite see 2-1. All right. Paul has this funny hit he could try if he wants 6-5, 6-3. Might have been worth a look. All right, let's see if Steve wants to make his tours where he makes his 2 because it's safer. 6-4. Distribution is much better that way. It is the higher quality points. And it wins more gammons. It might have been worth. It might have been right. I'd have to take a good look at it. Yeah, these guys are playing quite quickly. They might play a little better if they slow down a little bit. All right, yes, okay. So Steve is well up in the race, so mostly just trying to come home safely. There is a completely safe play, which maybe he should avail himself of. I mean, it's pretty sick, don't get me wrong, but it fits with his game plan of just like coming home safely, you know? So, although I'm loath to do that, I probably would have done that here. Right. Yeah, it looked like it didn't play great elsewhere. So this, it's got the stronger board. So maybe it would have been good. Paul won the sweeps. Oh, I see. Yeah. Whew. So neither you or I have had much luck in the you haven't won yet either, right? In these weeklies. Yeah, I've had pretty bad luck, I think, so far. Like I've been playing okay. Just I haven't been able to break through. I guess it's only been what, 3 tournaments? This might be the third or fourth tournament. But still, I feel like I feel like I should have won one by now. But the dice do what the dice do. Okay, so now it's post Crawford, so Steve should be doubling him in right away, but it's okay to wait when he's odd away. But what's the point? If your opponent knows what they're doing. So that was a good. Actually, that was a good opening 3-2 by Steve, going for the more gammonish position. This is okay. It might be a little better to play 13 to 10, 20 in the split with the two. So instead of 10 points better than the 11 points. The split is sort of arguable where you want to split to. Yep. Yeah, I was explaining that to my friend Jason recently, where like at some point in your life you're gonna run worse. This is actually an expression I heard when I was playing poker. At some point in your life, you're gonna run worse than you ever thought possible. You know? And I've definitely experienced that both in poker and in backgammon. Um, I think less so in backgammon, but I just have a solid edge over in most games I'm playing in. So the losses, the bad streaks are sort of minimal. But I don't know, in that game, even like I don't know, you remember like how good the Chouette used to be, like really good. $10 the Davis Square Chouette. It used to be like much weaker than it is now. I still would go on like 100+ point losing streaks once in a while, once every few years, you know. And at one point I did some math looking at like standard deviations and stuff. And yeah, it looked like once in a while I should go on like a 100-point losing streak in this game where I have like this huge edge. And I don't know if I've ever hit like 150 points in that game. Maybe I have once or twice. I never hit a 200-point losing streak in that game. I consider myself fairly lucky to have not experienced a 200-point losing streak in that game, though. Just because I played so much. But anyways, that's sort of the variance you can expect. And I'm saying that as a player that has like a decent edge in that, who had a big edge in that game. My edge isn't. I don't have a big edge in the current game. Yeah, it probably was on 2+2 at one point. Um, yeah. Yeah, just think, okay, say you've gotten like 150 points of good luck in the last 6 months or something. You could have just as easily got 150 points of bad luck in that game in the last 6 months. So think about that if you want to get scared, you know. Or the other thing I thought about sometimes like I'm in the midst of a 100-point losing streak, I was thinking, okay, but the chance that I'll go on another 100-point losing streak starting now is the same as it was when I started this 100-point losing streak. So that's kind of a scary thought too. Um, anyways, we should watch the backgammon. Oh, this is a weird shot here. 4-1. Yeah, 4-1-5-1. Shots in addition to 6-3-6-1 here. Okay, so it goes minimal. Yeah, no, I'm not sure about that actually, because it gets missing. It's hard to bring it home. On the other hand, what Black has to make some concession right away. So maybe Steve got punished for the right play there. And then actually Paul's play is wrong here. Paul got punished. If Paul could have killed his sixes by bringing the other guy in, and then 6-3 would have played safely. He was thinking about saving a six and getting more flexible, but 6-3 at least played worse. Maybe there's some number that played better though. I don't know. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and especially if you're just a small winning player, you know. Like I remember discussing this with other players who were probably winning players in that Chouette, but like not big winning players in the Chouette. So if I'm going through 100-point losing streaks as a big favorite, I mean, how are people going to do as like how big are their losing streaks going to be as like a small favorite in that game? They're going to go on forever. Anyways, Paul squeaks this one out. Very nice, Paul. Good shot at the end there. We can maybe take a look at some of these decisions. I got nowhere to be. Let's go to XG mode. Yes. Analyze. That's the 6-5. So you're supposed to pop out to the 14. What did Steve do? Actually, let's put Steve on the bottom. Yeah, cool. Okay, so now we have Steve on the bottom, Paul on the top. Yeah, I guess I wasn't paying attention. Oh yeah, and I came in around here maybe. Okay, so this is a good play by Steve. Oh, I guess there's not a ton of options. I was thinking there was another option where you run the back checker, but you jump out to the 15 and it's arrested. So I guess there's nothing else other than what Steve did. Oh, great roll by Paul, Jesus. Okay, so this isn't not quite a double yet, down in the race so much. Even though I think he can lose his market pretty big with a point dance sequence. It's too big of an ask. Point enter, Black has some decent chances. Okay, good. He did find the hit here. Yeah, I remember this. You get a good Cuban on the misses. So you're a pretty big favorite if you hit. Pretty solid favorite. Does not get away with it, but he comes back with a hit. Okay, and I thought this should go double take, right? Yeah, it's not the easiest position to analyze because obviously it's pretty gammonish, and Black has everything on the home front. But the fact that even after Black fills in the 5 point, the 2 point stays open, and Black might not get a 2 for a long time. He might even have to crunch his board before he gets a 2. Like he could roll 6-3, 5-5 or something and crunch his board already. What makes this a little tricky, and I think probably what Paul was thinking, was Paul has this big liability on his side of the board. He has the blot on the 9 point, but still, the advantages he has apparently makes this a very big take. Okay, 4-2. Oh, okay, no, good play by Paul here. I probably would have played 24-18. But yeah, apparently the computer slightly prefers Paul's play. I guess if he doesn't get pointed on, if he gets hit there with like I don't know 1-2 or something, he gets more return shots than after my play. Good. Oh, 8-3, a little fancy. That's okay. Nothing wrong with what Paul did. Yes, 6-4, 2-1 is in fact okay, but probably wrong because it gives White license to leave blots in the outfield if you roll something awkward. Yeah, you don't run here. Running would be a big error here. If you're up in the race or something, you could justify it, but even race, yeah, don't do that. Yeah, you give white, you give black some decent attack chances, and like I said, you get away with it, and you only have an even race. So good play by Paul. Okay, no shots, good. 13. Oh yeah, this would have been a good play to see. Right. Yeah, is it because white has the blot in his board? And if black leaves a shot, it plays productively, and if black doesn't leave a shot, it plays pretty bad, leaving a blot on the ace point. This is sort of a good opportunity to play 13 to 4 and get some decent flexibility for the future. Right, like you're not paying full price of the hits because white's often not covering when he hits. And yeah, you get missed, and then you got flexibility for days where white might struggle to play. Yeah, this is not an easy play, but it'd be a good heads up. It's findable, and it'd be a good heads up play to find. I kind of didn't like this 4-1 either by Paul, but yeah, apparently the computer likes it and thinks, like, I probably would have done this, which is apparently an error. It's sort of a similar theme to Steve's 5-4 play. You play productively, you leave a shot at a time when it's not deadly to get hits, because of this guy, and you usually get missed, and then you get some decent flexibility for the future, while the other guy might be struggling to play productively. Yeah, sort of interesting two-roll sequence, though. Instructive. So I guess that's the lesson here. If you got like this mutual holding game, you want to look for these opportunities to like leave a shot early when it's not too dangerous, and there's like a big difference in how easy it is going to be to play down the line. So that's nice find by Paul there, I would say. But he gets punished. He gets punished for the good play. And then, okay, dance. Okay, I guess you don't cube this. Wouldn't be crazy to cube before the roll, though. Because cover dance is a pretty big market loser. Okay, but the computer really doesn't like it. It's fine. Oh, I don't. Maybe Steve didn't see this play. This safe play here, big premium on playing safe. Computer wants to do this pretty reasonably. Steve goes for all the builders. Yeah, good play here. And then there was a missed cube or two. Yeah, definitely cube this. Clear I guess it's a fairly clear take now, because black has these 2 points in the L field to clear, and white's board is pretty sound. It's not completely together though, so black has this opportunity to maybe clear the midpoint without too much risk, and then he clears the midpoint without too much risk. I guess it's a pretty solid pass in that case, up so much in the race. Yeah, score's no big deal. Like, we should double this. Yeah, 4-4 play was okay at least. No, 4-4 play by Paul. Apparently, the computer wants to make the 16, not leave these hit numbers in the outfield. So what did Paul do? Yeah. A lot more hidden cover numbers this way. He's probably happy to hit with a number that doesn't cover also. Maybe. Woolsey's Encyclopedia Volume 1. Yeah, like I honestly wouldn't think in terms of reference positions here. I would just think it's going to be a pass if I clear the midpoint. And I can do it reasonably safely with the blot on white's board sometimes, even if I roll badly, 6-1 or something. So I just think in terms of like, I'm definitely winning, and I have like these pretty good market losers, so that's good enough. And here again, I think I mentioned this during the match. You got these hit cover numbers, which you're going to be too good after a lot of the time. And if you don't roll a hit cover number, you're still winning. So you got to be optimistic in this game. Yeah, the big double big pass here, and then he misses the cube and gets punished for it. All right, Paul should hit twice here, but he made some structure and split instead. Steve shows him how to play. Not here though, yeah. So you make the ace point with the 5, say, and then you got this blitzing structure, right? You got the 3-point board versus the 1-point board. You have your ace point made, which leads to sort of an attacking game. So you should definitely hit 6 to 5 with the 1 after covering. You do Steve's play, and then White has all the freedom in the world to anchor or attack or build or something. Oh yeah, pretty huge pass there. Wasn't completely obvious to me at the time due to White's nice structure, but yeah, it's just too gammonish. Yeah, I guess one thing I like to say sometimes, it's a little helpful for money play. You can ask yourself if you're like 100% sure that White doesn't lose more than 50% gammons here. And if you're not 100% sure White doesn't lose more than 50% gammons here, then it's almost certainly a pass, you know. And I guess it's just 47, but yeah, you can't be sure it's not 50 here. So sort of an indication that it's too gammonish to take for this money like score, you know. Yeah, it seems to make sense. And then Steve does a good job to close him out here. Although, yeah, the computer, I guess, wants to concentrate on the backmen a little bit more so as not to get stuck back there. They are pretty stuck behind the structure. There's a decent plan here. For some reason, 7 to 4, 6 to 5 is better. Oh, it's because it gets... Yeah, no, I didn't quite see this play. But yeah, this is better because it gets both 1-1 and 2-2 to make the point. 3-3 plays okay, I think, mostly okay. So 6-1, 6-2 are the blocked numbers back here. So 6-1, 6-2 make the 3 points. So this is extremely diverse. 1-1 also. Like for instance, you roll 6-1, 6-2 here. It's bad. Well, 6-2 is okay. 6-6-1 is 6-1 is blocked. 6-2 plays okay. But yeah, only 1-1 doesn't make the point, although 2-2 does. So yeah, a little bit sloppy there. Okay, yeah, the computer again wants to concentrate on escaping more. I guess Steve's play, this guy is still a little stuck. 4-4 does work though. Yeah, but Steve does okay. So 6-5 I decided was okay, good. And then he wins a gammon. He wins a gammon. Yeah, I would probably split here, but it's 13 to 9, 6 to 3 is usually what I do for money. But yeah, you lose fewer gammons if you split. So maybe a good idea if you're up in the match by a bunch. Yeah, there's probably a few opportunities in here to cube. Although maybe it's going to be like too good sometimes. It's like borderline too good. It's okay to double this. The computer doesn't quite like it. Yeah, I like this 6 here. Again, borderline to cube. Okay, gets off the back point. Good. He's up in the race a bunch. Black has a blot in his board, so good time to do this. Like I said, even though this guy only gets the 16 points. Okay, so here it stays back because there's not much attack option here. Here it stays back, although it likes clearing the midpoint and not and getting good flexibility in a 4 prime rather than going to the 2 point like Steve did. Yeah, Steve was quite enamored with his midpoint here, I remember. Okay, here it stays back also. The equity is quite different, but the large part of the reason why the equity is quite different is actually the computer thinks white has a stronger double, a lot stronger double is if black steps up with the 6. Okay, now it's borderline take pass because there are these attack options down there. Double take here. 4-2. Yeah, I really didn't like leaving the shot here. It's gonna be close on the take pass if you leave the shot. Very easy take if you just clear the midpoint. Yeah, I think Steve was just over. He was over valuing his midpoint here. So he's thinking what he's thinking is he can get a double shot there later. If like these points are gone and then like white rolls like a 6-1 or something, and black still has both these points, but that's kind of a pipe dream to like keep both those points forever. But anyways, yeah, good double by Paul now. Apparently still a take, good take by Steve. Looks like Paul avoided his 6 points. Big miss. 5-4, yeah, I wouldn't leave the extra shots here. 20 shots versus 17 shots. Oh, and the other thing, there's another thing going on here. You do this play, black's 5s are bad. Say he rolls like a 5-3. He has to leave a shot. Black's 5s are no longer bad. 5-3 plays fine. Oh god, 6-2. Tremendous. Okay, yeah, this was okay. Okay, so it doesn't mind leaving 2 blot numbers by bearing a guy off the 5 also. I guess it's a little smoother. Wins more gammons probably. Slightly more gammons. Apparently it wins more games to do this than what Paul did. Like Paul's play leaves 0 blot numbers. But there's kind of, I guess there's 7 guys here which could get awkward. Say if you roll 6-6 next turn. No, same thing here. I guess it's a little less awkward. Oh, okay, yeah, this. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I might have done what Paul did because the computer's play leaves 2 blot numbers. 6-5 will leave a blot, right? But it is sort of more flexible long term, I think, because you have the spare on the 2 and not the 1. And you could strip down the 5 point more conveniently next turn, I guess. Also, if you're rolling 6-6, this play is going to be somewhat safer next turn. Yeah, it was close though. It's close. I'd like to think I could find that play if I was thinking about it correctly. You pay the 2 blot numbers now for like slightly more gammons and slightly better safety, like if you get away with the next turn. Yeah, then here you can play a little bit more for the gammon. Okay, so this is just 3 blot numbers, right? 6-6, 5-5, 4-4. It is discounted a little bit because black's going to enter a third of the time, so it's kind of like 2 blot numbers. But let's say it's 3 blot numbers. The computer's play gets an extra checker off, so it does win more gammons. It also keeps a 5 point board longer because you have the spare on the 5, so you can handle like a 5-1, 5-2, stuff like that. Keep the 5 point board, where after Paul's play like this, you got to give up the 5 point after those. But you are paying more blot numbers, so it loses more. So the other one was 3. This is 9, I think, actually. 6-5, 6-4, 5-4, 6-6, 5-5, 4-4. So you're paying like 6 more blot numbers, but again, is discounted somewhat. So instead of 6, it's discounted. That 6 is like the 6 extra is like discounted by a third. So it's kind of like you're paying 4 extra blot numbers. You're getting hit of the third. You're getting hit a third of the time of those 4 blot numbers. So you're getting hit an extra like 1.3 games, 1.2 games maybe out of 36. You're only losing less than half of those. So you're only losing an extra half a game out of 36, I think, by doing this more aggressive bear-off play. So let's see what the computer says. Yeah, half a game out of 30. So 1 out of 36 is like 3%. Half a game out of 36 is like 1.5. So that's what the computer's saying here. 97 versus 98.6. So if you're if you're a little bit mathematically inclined, you can do analysis like that. So how does that help you, right? So you know you're losing 1.5% more roughly. So the main question is, if for an average gammon price, are you winning more than 3% extra gammons? Because you need 2 gammons to make up for every extra loss. So normally I would think, okay, am I winning 3% extra gammons by bearing the checker off? Here you could probably get by with just 2% extra gammons, because gammons are probably pretty valuable for the trailer here. I wouldn't do any match equity math. I would just kind of rely on general principles, thinking the gammon is a little bit more valuable than usual here. So you can probably get by with thinking, okay, am I winning 2 or 3% extra gammons by bearing a checker off? To me, it would be fairly clear that I do win 2 or 3% extra gammons, because under perfect conditions, where the gammon's like super close and the checker is like super valuable, a checker off can be worth up to like 10% gammons or even a little more. So this isn't perfect conditions, because the gammon is still a little bit unlikely, but I mean we're only looking for 2 or 3 extra percents. Like clearly it wins more extra gammons. So I would think, yeah, it's almost certainly there. So that's how I would, if I was really on the ball and I was thinking about this deeply, that's how I would come up with the right answer here. And yeah, it turns out it's like 5% extra gammons according to the computer here, according to the stupid computer. So that's just sort of an example of like the math you can do, and it's just arithmetic mostly, arithmetic and knowing that like you get hit a third of a little less than a third of the time when you leave it direct, and counting, you got to count up the blot numbers correctly. Yeah, 2-1 is fine. Okay, so Steve is 5, Paul is 3. Yeah, good play here, good technique. Yeah, we definitely hit here. Be okay to double this, but probably wrong. Why not cube this? Both plays are passes, apparently. Cube this also. It's too good here, apparently. All right, both are passes, but the computer wants to avoid overstacking the 6. No, it does want to. Sorry, cubeless. I guess it does prefer overstacking the 6 to leaving a shot in the outfield. But they're both passes, so they're both technically equal. Although Steve does like this one. A little bit sketchy due to the score, I guess. And then, yeah, I guess Paul should probably be getting extra builders for the, or at least like more guys in the zone ready to hit loose on the 2. Yeah. Yeah, see, like I think Paul would like to hit loose here to keep black from making the second anchor, but just doesn't have enough builders in the zone. Yeah, like I said during the match, the timing's a little sketchy here. Yeah, good play here. Like you could, okay, I see. So you could do this, but two problems with it. You're leaving two shots right away, and stuff like 6-2 is a direct blot number next roll for white. And then you can't avoid that structure. Yeah, computer wants to spread things out a bit more, strip the midpoints, so it can be safely cleared in the near future. Paul's play makes that a little harder. But his 3-3 worked. Yeah. Right. Yeah, gammons I think are quite valuable for the 5-away player at this score. I think the double gammons. I mean, and actually they're quite valuable for both players. So I guess that makes the take a little sketchy. Like I'd be more inclined to take for money, I guess. So what do? We go gammon value, cube on 2. Yeah, see how high it is? One player is 0.8, the other player is 0.77. Cube on 2. Money is 0.5, as you know. And then yeah, I thought there was a couple things I didn't like here. This I didn't mind. Just going right for the gammon save. Although 19-13 is still pretty flexible, better outfield control if you hit. Yeah, I didn't like covering here. Because I don't know, those 4 pips could make a difference in the gammon save for sure. And your hitting chances aren't very good. And again, gammons are quite valuable. Yeah, this I really hated. Like, why not just play 17-9, not waste any pips with the gammon save, not get smoked with 1-1-2-2-2-1. Oh, 4-way, 6-away. No, not this guy. The 4-way, 5-away game I thought was a little less clear. This guy. Yeah, the edge is too big though, I guess. Too big and gammonish. Yeah, I really hated this one. Yeah, I guess he gets smushed. And I assume he loses a gammon. Yes, he loses a gammon. Okay, good. Yeah, and he hit twice here. Oh, he only hit one. Hit twice is okay. Oh, run. Interesting. You run here? I mean, this is partly score-based. Gammons only count for black, right? White can't really win a gammon here. If white could win a gammon here, I guess you're doing this, or some other hit play. This is pretty shoddy. Since only white can win a gammon, and the computer wants to run, giving black. Only black can win a gammon. Black has 2s, 4s, and 3s here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would have found this play. I probably would have ended up doing this. And then, let's see, 6-4. Oh, yeah, he just misclicked here, basically. Got to be careful playing on line that the big number doesn't play first. 2-2. 2-2. Yeah, 2-2 seems pretty tough. No, so you're always hitting off the 11, and then yeah, why not hit off the 3, which is what Paul did. Oh, and then he plays 23-21 instead of making the 11. Yeah, I don't know. The 11's a decent asset, I guess. But I don't know. Coming up to the 21 is decent too. This is what Paul did. Get guys ready to escape. It's a little blotty though. A little blotty and exposed. Oh yeah, 6-4 was tough. Okay, everything. There's a million close plays apparently. Look at all these plays that are within point oh 0.03 of each other. Woof. It's okay. So Paul, yeah, Paul's plays okay. But it'd be better if Gamma's counted for him. Yeah, this is where like I don't know blitz or not. I guess there's not a ton of options if you don't attack in some fashion. So I don't know. Paul finds a decent attack play. Yeah, you mentioned that you don't like 8 to 7. Yeah, yeah. Computer agrees with you. There's this better attack play that keeps the 8 point. Five five. Huh. Alrighty. So what is going on here? So 20 to 11. I see. So what Paul did pretty reasonably was make the 11 point with playing 21 to 11, and then make an outfield point. And so that's the plan the computer likes. Or bringing bringing two more checkers to the 11 point. The computer doesn't mind also. This guy. I thought there was something else where you play like 11 to 6, 16 with 3 of them. But yeah, apparently that's pretty bad. I was thinking like this might be a candidate. But yeah, you don't. I guess it's a little hard to play from. You don't get your 11 point. Oh, I'm losing my voice. Luckily, I think this is the last game. Yeah, good play by Steve here. Play nice and safe. 3-1. Steve's 6 point isn't stacked. Yeah, maybe. So this is a 5-5 here. This is what Paul did. Oh yeah, you could also leave from the 20 point like this. But yeah, you do sort of give these checkers a place to go. Yeah, I don't know. Isn't there another? There's one other play I was thinking about where you make the 16 to the 15, but I guess that's just too exposed. You might like to do that in similar circumstances, but here you just get hit and attack too much, I guess. I was thinking like this. This is sort of interesting play, but too exposed. 3. Wow, yeah, there's the 6-5, 6-3 play. It's sort of a hard play to see. But he's got the stronger board. Doesn't want to kill a checker like what he did. Game's going to go on for a while, so the dead checker kind of matters a lot. If you were like very close to home and you were just trying to bring your last couple checkers home safely, then the dead checker on the 2 point after Paul's play might not matter that much. But here the game's just going to go on forever, and White's going to be playing essentially with 14 checkers. All right, yeah, decent, good play by Steve here. I might have played this a little more aggressively given the score. Like I might have actually ended up doing this. It does it does strip the midpoint. I mean the 7 point, but actually Steve's play does that too. I think I would have actually done this because you want the 4 point and not the 2 points. And you want to unstack the heavy 6 points. And getting hit doesn't appear to be the end of the world. Of course, black is up in the race, so I guess he should be pretty averse to getting hit. I probably would have still done that, though. But they say backgammon's a race. Yeah, I like Steve 6-1 here. Like, for instance, here, right here, Steve's killing a checker. And there are reasonable plays that don't kill a checker. Like you just hit 6 to 5, and you might get away with it. But see how Steve is like so close to home. He's just trying to come home safely, So he doesn't mind killing he's killing 2 checkers. It does work. Somehow he loses this though. He loses this somehow. Or am I thinking of like next game? No, I must be thinking of next game. And I guess there's one more game here. Yeah, you double right away. Good. Yeah, slightly better to split the other way, make the better offensive points. Nice and safe, nice and tidy. I would just make the 20 here. Good. I would step up in some fashion. Yeah, okay. Yeah, computer wants to hit. Hitting has a lot going for it, I guess. Let's put it up on the board. Right, it keeps white from attacking you on this side of the board a lot of the time. Like, especially with the 4. Some of the time anyways. And you don't mind it if the white, you kind of like it if white enters high. So he's not like patrolling your entire inner board. So and you don't want to overstack the 6. And you want to unstack your 6. So it's got a lot going for it. A fairly close play though. Good, okay, good roll here. Yeah, Paul's good technique here to build his board. Eight, 3, 6, 2. Yeah. He took his eye off the ball here. Normally, you have a blot on your 2 point, you want to cover it, but you're just trying to come home safely here. So this is sort of nice to have these nice flexible builders inside. As opposed to this strip 6 points. Only one builder here and some builders here. Yeah. Actually, one nice thing about the computer's play, it's a little odd on the outside. You have 5 outside checkers, but that doesn't hurt you because 6-6 doesn't leave a shot here because 6-6 is blocked from from the 20 point. Possible that the play is transposed. Ugh. 8, 7, 8, 4. Yeah, why would you do this? Yeah, why not keep the 6 point landing spot? Yeah, you play 6 to 1, 11 shots. You can also leave 11 shots this way. Keep your 6 point. And then Paul hits, makes a slight mistake with the 3-3, which almost cost him. Right, you play 16 to 4. I think everything plays fine, except for 3-3. But 3-3, I guess the plays are going to transpose after a 3-3. But yeah, 3-3 you get to keep a 5 point board, and 6-3 is safe. 6-3 is the big swing number. Look at what Paul did. 6-3 is a shot, right? 6-3, he only has to play the 3. It's safe if he does this. And then guess what he rolled? Oof. Huh. Played badly after 6-1. Yeah, he almost got punished. But Steve misses. Paul picks up. This looks 6-3 looks a little suspicious. What was he thinking? Oh, he's thinking he wanted the coverage, but yeah, no, he should just be trying to come home safely. So you do this, and then everything is safe next roll. You do Paul's play. I guess everything is still safe, actually. If Black dances, I actually don't think he has any blot numbers, surprisingly. But he could roll like a 2-1, 3-1 or something and not get that guy home. And yeah, you probably want a little bit more flexibility here too, with these 2 spares here. But yeah, I would have thought like they're like 6-6-5, both 6-6 and 5-5 surprisingly play safe here, as well as 6-5, 6-4. So yeah, so there's surprisingly no direct blot numbers if black dances. But we could black could roll 6-1 and hang back, and then white could roll 4 or less. But that doesn't happen. That's all fantasy. That was a pretty exciting match. Sort of came down to came down a little bit to the last game or two. Yeah, it looked like there was some good plays by both players, some stuff I would have missed. Anyways, yeah, I hope you got something out of this. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.